vibes, we rollin' from the west side to the east side. See my homie C-Style in the G-Rock. But not to my surprise, when I pulled up from the back, I knew we had a 22 with St. Ives and a fat sack. Yeah, the homie kept rolling. We modeled.
Hey, what up you guys? It's Danny B. You're watching the Trash Dash. In this video, I'm going to go over all the movies I saw in 2024. And I'm going to kind of, instead of doing like a whole ranking, I'm going to kind of do like almost like a tier ranking where I go like, these are the movies I kind of like, these are the movies I love, that kind of thing. I think I saw about 13 movies. Out of all those, there's nothing I really absolutely hated or anything, so the lowest on the list is going to be just like the okay movies, the ones that I thought were like decent enough. So I'm going to start off with the ones that were kind of just okay, kind of just mid-level, nothing that really like blew my mind or anything, but I thought they were decent. All right, so the first one is Maxine. I didn't see Pearl. I've never seen Pearl. I didn't really like X. I thought this one was okay. I didn't love it or hate it. The biggest thing with me with this is I compare this movie to Joe Dirt. I keep thinking this is like sort of like a Joe Dirt ripoff. Even like the way she says like, I'm Maxine Minx is the same way David Spade was going, I'm Joe Dirt. And then the whole thing with her parents, you know, Joe Dirt's parents, and then all of a sudden Joe Dirt was famous, all of a sudden she's famous. And then even the scene with her seeing her friend and she's like reacting like, it's the same thing with Joe Dirt when the guy shoots his dog. I watched Joe Dirt right after I watched this one. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of fucking similarities here. So did they rip off Joe Dirt for this? Next up is going to be Longlegs. And this one was okay. People were saying this is like the next Silence of the Lambs. I didn't think it was anywhere as good as Silence of the Lambs was. But Nicolas Cage was good in this. Decent enough. It turned to like the paranormal route, or I don't know what it was. It's like a kind of like sorcery kind of thing. That's where it kind of lost me, but other than that, it was all right. I will watch it again. I really like the ending, and yeah, I'll give it a second shot. All right, next up is Joker 2, and a lot of people absolutely hated this one. I didn't mind it. I thought it was decent. It wasn't great or nothing. It wasn't like the first one. So I really liked the first one, and that was, you know, kind of like an homage to Scorsese films. And I think this one, they're kind of trying to do like what Nicholas Winding Refn did with the movie Bronson. It's almost like very kind of similar to that. And then also kind of like some of like Abel Ferrara's later movies where there's long lingering shots on the characters. Like if you've ever seen this one called this Welcome to New York, it's kind of like that where it's just showing Joker like close-ups of his face, kind of how he's reacting to the situation and stuff. And then also there's like musical numbers thrown in, which they could have honestly done without that. But I guess they were trying to maybe make it a little more exciting. But yeah, I didn't mind this movie. Joker 2 is all right. Next up is Speak No Evil. And this one is pretty high on the okay list. But overall, like the characters kind of frustrated me where it's like, I was just like, oh my God, these are the stupidest people ever. But I guess that was kind of the point of it. It's a decent thriller, nothing I haven't really seen before. And I guess this one's a remake, so maybe I'll watch the original and see if I like that any better. All right, up next was Late Night with the Devil. And I kind of had high expectations for this one, but it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't really wow me. I was kind of hoping the whole thing would just be like a 1 hour broadcast from start to finish, like a found footage style, but they keep going to like behind the scenes stuff with the black and white where it's just like showing how the characters are reacting during the commercial segments and stuff. I thought this one could have been a little better, but it was okay. It wasn't like I didn't hate it or nothing. And then last up on the okay list is Strangers Chapter 1, this is another one a lot of people hated. I gave it a shot. I'm not a fan of really the Strangers movies. The first one to me is okay. I can't really stand the second one because it's the same thing with like the Speak No Evil characters where the people in Strangers 2 are just so stupid that it's actually like pisses me off to watch it. These ones, the characters didn't like annoy me like that. I actually think this might be my favorite Strangers movie, but maybe tied with the first one. Yeah, overall, I thought this one was decent. Right, so now we're moving into the movies that I actually liked. I thought these were better than okay, just to clarify that. Yeah, I thought these ones were pretty good. So first up is Y2K. And, you know, I actually didn't think I was going to like this movie. From the trailer, I was just like, all right, this looks really stupid. Mainly just because I don't like that kind of comedy, really, like that Judd Apatow style of comedy that much. But you know what? It really wasn't that full of that kind of comedy. And it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Plus all the nostalgia for like 1999. I was like 14 or 15 in 99. So I was having fun watching some of that, seeing like, all their old shoes and that kind of thing. I didn't love this movie, but I did like it, and I will buy it on DVD or Blu-ray when it comes out. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the better A24 movies that I've seen. There's not that many A24 movies I actually like. I like that Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage, and I like this. And that might be about it. But in all fairness, though, I haven't seen that many of them. But they're always kind of about like a fucking someone's harboring a secret, and then the secret turns out to be someone's a witch or that kind of thing. I'm like, oh my god, it's the fucking Wicker Man over and over again. So this is definitely more of like a mainstream kind of A24 movie, I guess. But I really kind of enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So yeah, Y2K. All right, coming up next is the Street Trash remake. And this one almost was going to be just on the okay list, but it really kind of picks up in the second half of it. And that's why I kind of liked it, because the first half of it I wasn't really feeling. I was just like, all right, I'm not really into this. But the second half, they go, like kind of full out action movie where it's almost like a prison escape type of movie. So that's where I kind of was like, all right, this is pretty cool. And there's some pretty good like melting scenes and that kind of thing, like the original Street Trash. All right, next up is Alien Romulus. And this has, its flaws. Like, I wasn't really into any of the characters. The story wasn't even really that good for me, but I really like the aliens in this, and like some of the action sequences where they're like flying around trying to dodge the acid and that kind of thing. And anything to do with the acid was pretty good in this. Like, there's a scene where it melts a guy's hand. I would say this one's kind of tied with me for part 4. I think I like part 4 slightly better just because it's kind of like campy and kind of gross out. But I definitely like this one better than part 3. And then the other ones. And then last up on the liked list, Beetlejuice Part 2. And I am a huge fan of the original Beetlejuice. And I really, really like this one. I didn't love it just because the story, I watched it maybe 3 times now. And the story doesn't hold up so good on the third time. The first time you're watching it, you're just kind of like engulfed in like the netherworld and Beetlejuice the character. And it's just so much fun to see everyone. Second time you watch it, it's still pretty good, but it does wear down a little bit. You're like, all right, well, I don't care about the story so much now. The world is still cool. The characters are still cool. Then by the third time, you're just like, all right, yeah, maybe I got to give this one a break. Maybe I got to rewatch this in like 3 years or something. But overall, I really did like this one. Michael Keaton was pretty good as Beetlejuice. He didn't have the same energy as he did in 37 years ago. But he still brought his A game to this. But yeah, this one overall was just a lot of fun just to see, Lydia and Beetlejuice and Catherine O'Hara back. And then it's really cool to see, all the dead people in the netherworld and that kind of thing. All right, now we're moving on to the ones that I loved. First up is The Substance. And The Substance is one, I was waiting to see that ever since I saw the first trailer on YouTube. Like months before anyone was even talking about this or it was even on anyone's radar, I was fucking all right, I can't wait to see that. And it did not disappoint. I thought this was one of the best movies of the year. This was my favorite of the year until I saw 2 others. But you probably know what this is about. This is like a body horror where this older lady who's kind of feeling bad about herself tries to look younger, so she takes this thing. And then it splits into 2 people, and it just becomes a whole mess. There's a lot of great cinematography in this movie, a lot of great acting. The soundtrack is actually pretty good, like a weird kind of techno soundtrack. Over-the-top cartoony characters, over-the-top gore and special effects, almost like Frank Henenlotter style body horror mixed with David Cronenberg's style. And a lot of influence from Stanley Kubrick with the hallway shots and stuff. Yeah, this one's a blast. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Next up is Terrifier 3. I love Terrifier 3. The first time I saw it, it didn't, I was like, all right, I think I still like part 2 better. But now I'm kind of like, maybe I like part 3 the best. What I really like about this one is just the sense of humor of it, of just how bizarre it is that this one is Art the Clown is fucking Santa Claus. There's not really a kill scene that really tops the, the bedroom scene in part 2. But overall, there is like a lot more gore and just like throughout the movie. It says a lot of like really kind of slimy deaths. And this one just feels the most like a 70s movie. It's got like that yellowish tint, and then just like, you know, he's killing kids. Like, it really just did not give a single fuck. And plus, you know, the chainsaw scene is awesome. Yeah, I thought Terrifier 3 was great. I love Terrifier 3. All right, and then my favorite movie of the year was Smile 2, to my surprise, because I didn't really like the first Smile, but I love Smile 2. I thought Naomi Scott absolutely killed this role. This one reminds me more of like a psychological thriller than just like a movie full of jump scares. Like the first one, it was, you know, okay, but it was just kind of like a jump scare type of movie, in my opinion. This one really is like, all right, they know that jump scares are going to be in this, so what can we do that's going to like just really drive up the anxiety and delve deeper into like a character study. And Naomi Scott absolutely killed that. Like, she was, you know, you really kind of see what's going on in her head, why she's going so crazy. Even without the fucking smile curse, she would be going crazy because she's just had this fucking thing happen where, you know, a car accident that killed her boyfriend at the time. And she's trying to get off of drugs, and she's famous, so you get all that pressure. And that's kind of what I liked about this too, is like, you don't know, like, is this really happening, or is this just like a metaphor for her fucking psychotic breakdown? And the cinematography is awesome in this. And the opening scene is very awesome. And I would love to go deeper into this. Maybe I'll do a separate review with spoilers, because I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I absolutely love Smile 2, so that's my favorite of the year. Alright guys, this is Danny B. You're watching The Trash Dash. Let me know your favorite movies of the year. You know, there's still more I gotta check out. I want to see that Werewolves movie, and there's a couple other ones, Nosferatu. And there's that movie, Baby Girl, that I want to see with Nicole Kidman. Hope everyone had a good New Year's and all that. This is Danny B. You're watching The Trash Dash. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.